This is Writers Not Writing, the show where you can get to know your favorite writers and soon-to-be favorite writers by listening to them confess to the ways they procrastinate. Thanks for procrastinating with us. I'm Benjamin Gorman, and the quiet guy behind the glass there is Doug the producer. I write novels and collections of poetry and stuff. Doug tries his best to make me sound better. From Not a Pipe Publishing, welcome to Writers Not Writing. Hail and well met, readers and reviewers. I am very excited because today is our 100th episode. As you can see, we are going full on party. The world is a terrifying place right now. I don't know about you, but the election anxiety is a lot. And so we're just not going to think about it for the next, I don't know, hour, maybe more. And we are going to celebrate this 100th episode. Doug and I have gone all out. We've got the confetti, paper confetti, so much better than glitter. Vacuums up far more easily. Glitter is a scary disaster. But we've got confetti we're throwing around. I've got one of these cardboard party hats on. Doug's wearing his as well. These have the elastic that is ridiculously painful. I don't know why they designed them in that way. They're particularly cruel to bald people because the cardboard is poking into my head painfully. And the design itself is odd. Like I am choosing to wear a dunce cap, but smaller. I'm a miniature class clown, I guess. But here I am. I'm wearing this cardboard party hat, and then I have this thing that I actually had to look up what it was called, which I thought might, be a not safe for work kind of search. They are alternatively called party blowers or party, what was the other thing? They're party blow something. But I did look it up. They are blowers. So I've got this. I'm not going to blow it into the mic because I know many of you are listening via, on the podcast and they make a horrendous noise. But you know what I'm talking about. The little things where you blow into them and the little spiral of paper comes out and they make a high, kind of a buzzing sound. So I've got those, it's the 100th episode. I mean, this is a big deal. So very excited to have you all here. And I've been asking folks on the last few episodes what I should start advertising on the show, because my understanding is that once you hit 100 episodes, like, you're now an established show, and the advertisers understand this show is going to stick around. And so it becomes for them a really good way to reach out to their target demographic. And let's face it, a show about writers talking about how we procrastinate is absolutely the prime market for 18 to 24-year-old males with disposable income and who are incredibly impressionable about the kinds of products that they're going to then stick with for the rest of their lives. So that's why advertisers aim for them, and that's why they're going to go through this show. And one of the things that I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I know the kinds of products that I expect to be hearing from soon. There are a couple of different mattress companies. I think, I don't have a really strong preference when it comes to mattresses. I like mattresses as much as the next person, not as much as Tom Brady likes a mattress, not as much as JD Vance likes a couch. But, I use a mattress and I am willing to use whatever other mattress for money. In fact, if more than one company wants to send me mattresses, we could stack them. And then Crystal and I could do kind of a Princess and the Pea thing and see who's the lighter sleeper. And that would be really good for the mattress companies because Crystal and I are both very heavy sleepers. And so I don't expect that we would wake up regardless of where a pea were placed under the mattress, and then I could come on the show and tell you that, the 5 mattresses that we were sent were all excellent. And so if anybody wants to start sending me mattresses and also huge amounts of cash to put under those mattresses, that really makes more sense than peace. Less with a modern banking system than it perhaps once did, but still, I'll stick cash under a mattress. And so yeah, I am excited to get to figure out what we're going to start advertising on the show in the near future. But yeah, the 100 episodes in, this is really, really cool.
Hi, this is Armin Tolentino, author of the poetry collection We Meant to Bring It Home Alive, from episode 39.
The amazing Armin Tolentino, poet laureate of Vancouver, Washington. Armin, so great to have you on the show.
And I just want to remind you all that chipotles are simply smoke-dried jalapenos. They are not a unique species of chili pepper. Happy 100th episode, Writers Not Writing. Keep doing all the things.
I did not know that about chipotles. So thank you for calling in, Armin, and thanks for the recognition of the 100th episode. That's very cool. Having Armin on reminds me, Armin and I are both big NBA basketball fans, and I listen to NBA podcasts as well, and I know sports betting is one of the common advertisers. And these folks have more money than God. I mean, they get to set the odds. And so they design it so that they will win most of the time, and people just throw money at them. It's a wonderful business to be in. So much better than books. Yeah, that's unfortunate to acknowledge. But if a sports betting conglomerate would like me to advertise, I don't bet on any particular sport, but I'm willing to try. If you gave me money, not only would I try, I would report out about what I was betting on. And
hey, this is Dan McCoy, television writer, co-host of the Flophouse podcast, author of the Dan McCoy Special Interest newsletter from episode 49.
The Dazzling Dan McCoy, host of the Flophouse.
And I just want to remind you that yoga has actually been found to be more successful at reducing anxiety than most anxiety-reducing techniques. Happy 100th, Writers Not Writing.
I think I had read something about, yoga being, I think we all, anybody who knows anything about yoga knows that it is really good for stress, flexibility, that kind of thing. But I think I had read somewhere that it was actually better than many medications. Having Dan on the show reminds me of another potential advertiser. So one of Dan's co-hosts, Stuart, is married to Charlene, and Charlene is opening a gym. And Dan's yoga advice makes me think of this. Charlene's idea for the gym is really cool. It's a body positive gym. It's called the Jiggle Studio in Sunset Park. And there's a Kickstarter for it right now. You can go support Jiggle Studio in Sunset Park. And, once that Kickstarter is successful and then the place takes off, they could advertise on my show. So I am not disciplined enough to work out regularly, but I would like to get to that kind of place. And maybe if I had a reason to talk about a gym weekly, I would actually go to one. I don't know. I could talk about. Maybe I would get embarrassed about talking regularly about how I don't work out, and eventually I would find a gym that's not, that's on my side of the country. So, Charlene, reach out when the time comes.
Hi, this is Zaji Cox, author of Plums for Months, from episode 22 of Writers Not Writing.
The Zingi Zaji Cox. Zingi is a word, listeners. Check that out. Zaji, so cool to have you on the show.
I just wanted to remind everyone to hang on to any old video games that you might have, because they may come to be worth a lot of money in the future, like this one. It's not for sale. And I just wanted to wish Writers Not Writing a happy 100th episode.
Yeah, I did not save my old video games. That's good advice, but a little too late for me. But it does make me think about, I know there are places that advertise for being able to, trade in stocks, bonds, investment vehicles of various kinds, and meme stock like GameStop. I mean, GameStop is the company that is sitting on all of those old video games that folks like Zaji are still hanging on to. They've got to have tons of those. That's where my old video games all ended up, and I don't think that makes GameStop a particularly good investment. But what do I know? That's not really in my wheelhouse. But I'm totally willing to advertise for whatever place is doing that kind of facilitation of investing, and maybe I'd learn a thing or two and use the gobs of money that you'd be sending me to invest, and then be able to report about how effective that was. So if you'd like to connect with me, if you're Price Waterhouse Cooper or whatever, I'm not going to name the names of these various places, but if somebody wants to get me to invest with your Cash App or whatever, send me cash and I'll invest it with you. Sure, I'm willing to do that.
Hi, I'm Fonda Lee, author of the Greenbone Saga, back from episode 61.
The Fabulous Fonda Lee. Oh, so cool. Great to have you here.
Did you know that typewriter is the longest word that can be typed on a single line of the QWERTY keyboard? Well, now you do. Congratulations, Doug, on episode 100.
Oh, that was very cool that that Fonda was willing to call in, and that was nice of her to give you a shout out. I do notice that she forgot to mention me, but I appreciate that she called, and that you really must have made an impression when you were producing that particular episode. So that's very cool. Thank you to Fonda Lee for sending that in. Which reminds me, Fonda's point about a typewriter on the QWERTY keyboard. There is a company I shall not name that makes websites, and they advertise a lot on podcasts, and I use them for my website, for the company's website. So I'm sending them money, and really I would appreciate it if the relationship were reversed. So if that particular website company wants me to advertise for them, I am willing to do so, not in exchange for services rendered, but I would hope you would pay me a lot more than I'm currently paying you. That would be really cool.
Hi, this is Rhiannon Held. I'm the author, as RZ Held, of the Amsterdam Institute series of space opera novellas, beginning with Clean Install or Collected in Idyllion. I'm from episode number 57.
The Rapturous Rhiannon Held, welcome. Very cool to have you on.
And I just want to remind you all that the intervertebral disc in your back consists of the annulus, which is the outer sort of tougher ring, and then that surrounds an inner gel-like center, the nucleus pulposus. And thanks, and happy 100th episode, Writers Not Writing.
Those are such better terms than like the goo donut, which is what I think of all of the various portions of the spine other than bone. They're goo donuts, right? That keep everything moving, but sort of not moving too much. But yeah, I'm not surprised that they have proper terms. Goo donut would be, I don't know, unprofessional. If you went into your chiropractor and they were like, goo donut number 4 needs to be adjusted in this way.
Hey, this is Vanessa Ricci Thode, she, they, author of Fireborn, a queer dragon rider series for adults, and more recently, The Young Necromancer's Guide to Ghosts, a fantasy adventure for tweens. I'm from way back on episode 14.
The Valorous Vanessa, Ricci, Thode, thank you so much for being on the show. It's great to see you.
And I just want to remind you all that not only are redwoods the tallest trees in the world, they're also really weird. They can reproduce by sending new sprouts out through the roots in a circle around the main trunk called a fairy ring. As these trees mature and the parent tree dies, you end up with a cluster of redwoods that can merge into one giant tree, a big kaiju tree. Very cool, very weird. If you can make it to the Northern California coast, definitely check them out. And California tourism, call me. Thanks for listening, and congratulations, Doug, the producer, on 100 episodes.
Oh, thank you so much for calling in. That reminds me of another potential advertiser. I have heard various states and sometimes a locality advertise through their kind of tourism board, their ads for, visit Maryland and visit California and come to Las Vegas, like Las Vegas needs to advertise, but they advertise. So if somebody wants me to advertise your state, I have been to all of them. Oregon is the best, but yours might be second best. So if you would like to advertise here, I'm totally willing to tell people to go visit wherever. I can read ad copy. I can tell them how great your, inferior state is.
Hey, this is James Sutter, author of Dark Hearts and the Ghost of Us and co-creator of the Pathfinder and Starfinder role-playing games. I'm from episode 85.
Jovian James Sutter. Oh, wonderful to have you. How's it going?
And I want you to remember that life is about more than just productivity. So, happy 100th episode.
Yeah, that is good for me to remember. And, when I hear that and I think about Dan McCoy's advice too, I am acknowledging a bit of a pattern. There are some folks who might recognize that I need a little stress relief, maybe some refocus. Trying to focus on outcomes is unhealthy. So thank you, James. I appreciate that.
Hey, this is Jo Sparkes, author of The Honey Tree, from episode 75.
The Jocund Jo Sparkes. Welcome. Very good to have you on.
And I just want to remind you all that here in the UK, every horse, donkey, pony, and mule is required by law to have a horse passport. Happy 100th, Writers Not Writing.
I did not know that. It sounds like potentially a bureaucratic nightmare if the various animals need to acquire those on their own. If they didn't have some human assistance and just were let into some office that, kind of DMV for oxen and donkeys and such could be really nightmarish. I don't know, maybe there's a story there.
Hey, B. Zelkovich here from episode 6.
The brilliant B. Zelkovich, welcome. Glad to have you on.
And I just want to remind you that bonnethead sharks can actually reproduce via parthenogenesis. Congrats, Ben and Doug, on 100 episodes.
Oh, and thank you for remembering both Doug and myself. I appreciate that. I did not know that about those sharks. I am terrified of sharks. I think I've mentioned this on the show before. That is a deep-seated fear. Now I'm looking up parthenogenesis. Oh, they can reproduce asexually. Sharks that can just make more sharks. That's absolutely terrifying. Thank you for that. I'm gonna lose sleep over this, and I don't even swim in the ocean. But now it's infested with sharks giving birth to themselves.
Hey, this is Karen Eisenbrey, author of Ego and Endurance, the Daughter of Magic trilogy, and the Saint Rage duology, from episodes 2 and 24.
The Kaleidoscopic Karen Eisenbrey. Very cool to have you on the show.
And I just want to remind you all that if you categorize both sharks and trout as fish, then you can also categorize human beings as fish. We're all fish. Happy 100th, Writers Not Writing.
Yes, well, the fact that I have a spine and a shark has a spine is, maybe should make me less afraid of sharks. But the fact that I am a fish and sharks eat fish is not comforting. So I don't know. Maybe that's a shortcoming on my part that I see it that way. Maybe I should feel closer to my vertebrate brethren. But no, they still terrify me.
Hi, Writers Not Writing. It's Miriam Gershow, author of Survival Tips Stories from episode 81.
The marvelous Miriam Gershow. So cool to have you on the show again.
I just wanted to remind everyone to never trust a writer with a clean desk. Happy 100th episode, Writers Not Writing.
Well, thank you for allowing me to take pride in the absolute nightmare that is my desk. I'm not sure which of my desks is worse. The one here where I write at home, or my desk at school, at work, when I have, a sub or any other adult in the room, one of my bosses, one of the administrators, and they see my desk. I'm just going to tell them, Miriam Gershow says that this is a good thing. Look her up, read her books. This justifies my messiness, and I really appreciate it.
Hey, this is Charles Austin Muir from episode 65. I'm the author of the Splatterpunk Award-nominated This Is a Horror Book.
The always charming Charles Austin Muir. Very cool to see you. How's it going?
And I'm here to remind you that, in the words of Alex Owens from Flashdance, if you close your eyes, you can see the music. Happy 100th, Writers Not Writing. I hope that while you're not writing, you can see the music.
I don't have that kind of synesthesia. Like, I can't see the music. I enjoy music, but I just end up, belting it out, singing along loudly in my car, in the shower, to the annoyance of everyone around me. Karaoke, any opportunity that I get, that's more my style. I don't know that I can see it in that way, but I should try. For you, Charles, I will take your advice. I will try and see the music.
Hi, I'm Sarah Geddes, author of Henry the Sneezing Dragon and To the Moon, a Jacob and Trevor adventure. I was on episode number 90.
The sensational Sarah Geddes, welcome.
I just want to remind everybody that you should always, always, always have a karaoke song ready to rock and roll at any given moment. Even if you never plan to karaoke a day in your life, you should still have one. Mine is Mama's Broken Heart by Miranda Lambert. Anyways, I just wanted to say, happy 100th episode, Writers Not Writing.
See, that is what I'm talking about. That is more my style. I am karaoke. I'm not sure I should use the term I normally use to describe myself when it comes to karaoke. I am loose, might be the old-fashioned term. I'm very easily persuaded to sing karaoke. Regardless of the quality, I love singing karaoke, and yes, Sarah, I am absolutely with you on that. Lately, I will find some song and play it to death, and then think, this is the song that I'm going to sing the next time I get to do karaoke. Yes, I absolutely am one of those people who is actively planning to do karaoke at some point in the future. Looking forward to the next opportunity. In fact, I'm thinking that if I get to attend Jesse Kwok's Author Alchemy Summit, I will hopefully get to do karaoke again this year. And now that I think of that, the Author Alchemy Summit should totally be advertising on this show. I mean, that just makes good sense. So, Jesse, I'll sing karaoke the next time I attend. And meanwhile, you really ought to be competing with global conglomerates to throw money at me to get me to advertise your amazing conference. It really is very cool.
Hi, this is Elle Mitchell, author of realistic dark fiction, Crip Horror, the Jane series, and upcoming horror mystery After the Main Course. I'm from episode 37, but also a lot of other places.
The ebullient Elle Mitchell. very cool to have you on the show. Welcome.
I just wanted to remind you, taking care of your mental health is good for your family, your friends, your neighbors, and that person that you glared at that may now be a serial killer. So I guess maybe just society? Okay, PSA over. Let's give Doug, the producer, a big round of applause. Happy 100 episodes of Writers Not Writing.
Another shout out for you, Doug. That's cool. That's very cool. I, I'll have to remember to tease Elle about that at the next event. That she, I'm sure, totally innocently forgot to mention me as well. But again, Doug, you must have made an excellent impression on the episode where you produced of hers. So thank you for all of your work. I mean, I totally agree with Elle on that. I'm sitting here myself as well. It would be nice if somebody recognized that, but.
Hey, this is Rachel A. Rosen, author of Cascade from episode number 84.
The radiant Rachel A. Rosen. Welcome, Rachel. Glad to have you here.
And I just wanted to remind you all to support your local Orca comrades and sink some billionaire yachts. Happy 100th episode, Writers Not Writing.
Yes, solidarity with our anti-billionaire brethren. Totally agree. Well, it has been so wonderful to have everyone on, and I just want to thank some folks and... Oh, and we've got somebody else.
Hi, I'm Kurt Clopton, author of Super Guy and Super Guy 2 Electric Boogaloo from episode number, fill in proper episode number here.
The always comforting, compassionate, caring Kurt Clopton.
And I want to let you know about my podcast, the Writers Still Not Writing After Show podcast. My consistent guest is Doug, the producer, who spends most of his time complaining about the on-air talent and then drinks himself into a stupor. Anyway, happy 100th, Writers Not Writing.
Well, that is news to me. I think that Doug, we should probably talk about that. I should probably look that show up, don't you think, Doug? I should check that show out. Those episodes are available to everyone. I am going to find out exactly what you've been saying about this show, thanks to Kurt's after show. That is a little awkward. We'll see if we have a different producer in our next few 100 episodes, because that's a difficult thing to be discovering on episode 100, Doug. Okay, well, hopefully we will still be around when episode 101 becomes available next week, and it will be highly produced and criticized in an after show that I clearly need to listen to. Okay, well, I hope you have enjoyed this party as much as I did until the end, Doug. Yeah, everybody, you have a wonderful week, and nothing could possibly go wrong in the world that we need to be worried about. And yeah, wow.
If I take my time